Are people still excited about phones that fold in half? Samsung is hoping the answer is yes because the Galaxy Z Flip 7 and Fold 7 are just around the corner. According to reports from people close to the production line, things are already getting into motion. This matches earlier leaks that hinted Samsung would begin the manufacturing process sometime in May. Even though there were some early problems, especially with chip supplies, things seem to be moving along on schedule now. Let's take a look at what we know about the Galaxy Z Fold 7. It's expected to use the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, also being called the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. This is the same high-end processor that powers Samsung's current Galaxy S25 series. So if you're someone who wants a foldable phone without sacrificing speed or smoothness, that's great news. At one point, people wondered if Samsung might go back to using its own Exynos chips in the Fold 7, but that doesn't seem to be the plan anymore. Things get a bit more interesting with the Galaxy Z Flip 7. This one has been spotted being tested with Exynos chips. In fact, two separate test versions of the Flip 7 were seen earlier this month, and both were running on Exynos processors. So now the big question is, will Samsung go back to releasing different versions of the same phone for different countries? They used to do this. Some regions would get Snapdragon, while others got Exynos, but they stopped because the performance differences were too noticeable. If Samsung brings back that idea, we can once again see people in different parts of the world using the same phone with very different experiences. Looking further ahead, Samsung is working on something even bigger. Their new Exynos 2600 chip, built on a 2nm process, is in development and could power the Galaxy S26 next year. The goal here is pretty clear. Samsung wants to stop depending so much on Qualcomm and start using more of its own chips in future devices. Their chip-making division, Samsung Foundry, is making steady progress according to recent updates. Meanwhile, Apple is staying with its 3nm chips for now. The iPhone 17 series will likely continue using that technology with a possible move to 2nm coming in the iPhone 18 lineup. But smaller chips are more expensive to make, and that could drive up the cost of future iPhones. Some experts are saying that Samsung's 2nm chips may still not be as power efficient as the 3nm ones made by TSMC, which Apple uses. So when both are finally available in phones, it'll be interesting to see how they compare. As for foldable phones overall, they've come a long way since the early models. But even with better screens, stronger hinges, and improved battery life, they still aren't flying off the shelves. Samsung has reportedly lowered its expectations for how many Fold 7 and Flip 7 phones it expects to sell. The company isn't aiming for huge numbers this time, it's keeping things more realistic. Many other phone makers have already started stepping away from the foldable market. It's expensive to design and produce these devices, and not every brand can compete with Samsung. If the phones aren't selling well enough, it just doesn't make sense for smaller brands to stay in the game. That said, Samsung still believes foldable phones are part of the future, and even if the Z Fold 7 and Flip 7 don't bring massive changes, they could still offer enough upgrades, like smoother performance, better multitasking, and improved battery life, to keep people interested. So what do you think? Are these foldable phones getting closer to being worth their price tags, or are they still more about showing off than being useful? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any updates on the latest smartphones and tech news. Would you pay over $1,000 for a phone that bends in half? Samsung is hoping the answer is still yes, because the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 are almost ready to hit the market. Insider leaks say production is about to begin, which lines up with earlier reports pointing to a May manufacturing start. Even though there were some early challenges, mainly with the chips, it looks like everything is back on track now. Let's begin with the Fold 7. This phone is likely to feature the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, also known as the Snapdragon 8 Elite. It's the same processor used in the latest Galaxy S25 models, which means users can expect fast performance without compromise. That's important, especially for a device that's trying to combine the power of a flagship phone with the flexibility of a foldable screen. There were some early signs that Samsung might use their own Exynos chips in this model, but it seems like that idea has been dropped. Now, the Z Flip 7 has taken a slightly different path. This foldable was recently spotted in testing with Exynos processors, and not just one, but two versions were seen using them. That has sparked talk about whether Samsung is planning to bring back regional variants. If that happens, we could once again see some markets getting Snapdragon versions and others getting Exynos. A few years ago, Samsung stopped doing this after users complained about noticeable differences in speed, battery life, and heat management. If they return to that system, it might raise similar concerns. Looking beyond these two devices, Samsung is working hard to build better chips for future smartphones. The new Exynos 2600 processor, which uses a 2-nanometer manufacturing process, is already in development. This chip could make its debut in the Galaxy S26 next year. The move makes sense. Samsung has been trying to reduce its reliance on outside chip makers like Qualcomm. According to recent updates, Samsung Foundry is making good progress toward this goal. Meanwhile, Apple is sticking with its 3-nanometer chips for the iPhone 17 series. A jump to 2 nanometers could happen with the iPhone 18, but it would make the phones even more expensive to produce. Even then, some industry experts believe Samsung's 2-nanometer chips might not be as energy efficient as Apple's chips made by TSMC. So when both chips eventually arrive in phones, we'll finally get to see how they perform in everyday use. As for foldable phones in general, they're better than they used to be, but they still haven't reached the level of popularity that phone makers hoped for. Samsung has quietly lowered its sales expectations for both the Fold 7 and Flip 7. Instead of aiming for big numbers, the company is playing it safe this time. On the other hand, several smaller phone brands have already stepped away from the foldable market. Some simply can't keep up with Samsung, while others don't want to spend a lot of money on something that's still considered a niche product. Even so, Samsung hasn't given up on foldables. The company is still investing in this space, and the Fold 7 and Flip 7 are expected to bring some solid improvements. Faster performance, cleaner software, and possibly better battery life could make them more appealing than past versions. So, are foldable phones finally starting to make sense? Or are they still more about the design and real value? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. And if you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech. Is a foldable phone really worth buying in 2025? That's a question many people are asking, especially after some leaks revealed new details about the upcoming Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. While the changes might not be too dramatic on the outside, what's happening under the hood is where things start to get interesting. From what's been leaked, Google doesn't seem to be making a huge shift in the look of the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. It still keeps the tall, slim shape and the same camera bar across the back, something we've already seen in the previous Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The company seems to believe that the current design already works well, so rather than redesigning it completely, they're choosing to fine-tune what's inside. It's a bold decision in a market where flashy designs often get more attention, but it might turn out to be the smarter choice. One small but noticeable change is the placement of the SIM card slot. It's now located at the top of the phone, which aligns it with the rest of the Pixel 10 lineup. This shows Google is trying to keep a more consistent design across all its phones. Also, if you look at the side of the device, there are two small cutouts. These could be for the power and volume buttons, or maybe something like antennas to improve the phone's signal. Either way, it helps keep the phone looking neat and balanced. Looking back at last year's Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it was one of Google's most praised foldables. It featured a 6.3-inch OLED screen on the outside and an 8-inch OLED screen when unfolded. Both screens were sharp, colorful, and bright. The performance was also solid, thanks to Google's Tensor G4 processor and 16 gigabytes of RAM. It could easily handle gaming, multitasking, and any heavy apps you threw at it.